So today we're here to talk about one of Raising Readers' newer program offerings, the Family Shared Reading Program. But just as a reminder, this webinar is for both of our affiliate partners, partners that we might have soon, and then folks that might not be familiar with the Raising Reader program. So I wanted to take a moment and just ground us in what Raising a Reader does, what our organization as a whole does. And we are a national early literacy family engagement nonprofit organization that strives to help families develop, practice, and maintain those home-based literacy habits that are essential for school and reading success. So what we're talking about today is the Family Shared Reading Program. And this is a program that we've developed. We've been thinking about this for a number of years. And the start of the COVID pandemic almost 1 year ago, for us in the United States, really helped us propel this offering to our affiliate network and even outside of our affiliate network to other potential partners. We not only created this program because we knew we had to create new innovations for families all over the country, but we wanted to also have a response to diverse learning environments. We know that family engagement in early childhood is so critical that help to create that consistency between the home setting and the educational setting, whether that's a home visiting setting, an early Head Start, all the way up to school districts and everywhere in between. And we know that there's so much research that shows that when families are connected, children are achieving. So not only do we have our classic red book bag program, but we wanted some other offerings to help also either complement the classic red book bag program or be its own program in and of itself. Some of the research we also did for this program was look at how many books in the home do children need to change the trajectory of reading success or academic success. And that number seems to start around 18 or 20 books. And I have some research at the bottom that tells that. So with these two and many other research components, we developed the Family Shared Reading Program. Here's some more of the research that I was telling you about. So just a couple other citations if you need it. Because COVID propelled us to do this a little quicker than we had originally anticipated, we looked at family engagement specifically during the pandemic. And although we're seeing some light at the end of the tunnel, we know that we have a long way to go before we get back to the post-March 2020 normalcy that we've enjoyed for our entire lives. So when thinking about the program, we developed some goals, some initial goals, and there are so many other cascading goals that go along with this. But for families, we knew number one, we wanted to help build their home libraries because we knew that if children had that 18 or 20 age-appropriate books in the home, we know that that was one of the factors in helping them succeed and achieve. Another factor in helping children succeed and achieve in reading and kindergarten readiness was supporting reading routines. So we knew it had to be more than one book. We knew it had to be more than just handing out a kit and hoping that families use it. We wanted to support caregivers, parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, foster parents, godparents, whatever it might be, whomever was caring for the children. Again, to help equip them with the tools and strategies and information they need to actualize their role as their child's first and most important teacher. And finally, to connect families with the educational setting in the community. You know, families are really isolated now more than ever, and the isolation is probably not going to go back again to that pre-March 2020 normalcy for quite some time. For educators, educators were just kind of thrusted into this world of, okay, now you need to go teach, virtually, and we expect you to be good at it and have all the same outcomes. And by the way, we're still testing the kids. So what we wanted to do was really make sure educators had training and resources they needed to help create those connections with families so that the children would be supported, the families would be supported, and the outcomes of the educational setting would be supported. So last summer, you heard that we had something called our Fabulous Fall Family Packs. And so we renamed this. This is still in a pilot year, and it will be in a pilot year for the next year to 2 years. So we revamped this program as a family shared reading program. And FabFall has been updated and upgraded into what we call our starter packs. We want our families to all get this starter pack that really sets the foundation for the other components of this program that follow. So the family starter pack, when we were thinking of what's needed, we knew that we wanted to have, at a minimum, we wanted our materials to be in 2 languages. So we start with the bilingual family guide, and we'll have a preview of it in a little bit, but this family guide not only helps caregivers understand why is it important to read aloud to my child every day, but it breaks down the components of reading readiness. And then it provides 12 weeks of shared reading strategies. And we focus on one strategy every week. The first week starts with a picture walk. And we explain what it is, why it's important, and give families some starters or some sentence starters or some discussion strategies. Because if I'm a parent or caregiver, I could really use those sentence starters, because at the end of the day, I'm really tired. I've got a lot going on. And if I could have someone just help me with some sentence starters, that would make all the difference. So the family guide really takes those caregivers on that 12-week trajectory. The 6 bilingual children's books. We really tried hard to include a variety of genres in the books that are in these packs. So we wanted to make sure we had nonfiction, a social emotional title that had, a gentle social emotional theme or undertone, a STEM or a STEAM book, and of course some beloved fictional books. So you can see in this original starter pack, we hit all of them. We hit the fiction, the nonfiction, the social emotional, the classic fictional books. What the difference is between what we offered in the fall and now is that every pack starts with 6 books, but you have the option to add up to 10. We heard a lot of affiliates say, actually, I have a budget for more than just the 6 books. Can I get more? So we thought we would have that option for anyone. And of course, if you add an additional 1 to 4 books to your 6-book pack, the price just fluctuates depending on how many books you're going to add. We have a reading journal that's still that we've had since last fall, and this is a blank journal. So in the family guide, there are several prompts for families to invite their children to respond to a story that they're reading in the journal by scribbling, drawing, writing letters, numbers, words, and all the way up to our sentence writers. And of course, there's always online access to our read alouds, downloadables, and story guides for parents and caregivers. Some of the books even have virtual field trips. So for educators, they also get their own starter pack, and they get everything that the families get. And so it's great because if you have a classroom of children, we strive to make sure every child has the same books. So we've had school districts come to us and say, this is perfect for our guided reading because every child has the same. This is perfect for our family nights because the educator is modeling the strategies and the parents and families have those books there with them. We've provided some materials to make this engaging. A Pepit, a cell phone stand, a whiteboard set for engaging, for writing words of the day, for having your phone right where you want, right where it should be. So kind of you're not, positioned kind of funky. We want you to be positioned really well. And then we have special access to a downloadable educator manual. We have story guides, online training, and some turnkey resources for the educators to facilitate this program. So we have something for the educators and something for the families with this program. So a family guide preview, this is what I was talking about. On this slide, we see week 6 making predictions. And so every week, this is the typical format for the weeks. The topic is making predictions for week 6. We say what it is, what is making predictions, why it's important. So it's important, it really helps to help families monitor child's understanding of the story. It encourages the development of critical thinking skills, and it keeps kids engaged. Those are just a few of the things. And then the try it section. The try it is always last. And again, it's those sentence starters. So as a parent or caregiver, I can read this and understand what predictions means. why my kid needs to understand it. And I can use some of these sentence starters in my next read aloud with my child. And I might say, well, how did you know that as a response to what they're going to say? Or what's going to happen next? What do you think? So all of these sentence starters really help build those conversations, and they're meant to yield an answer that's more than yes or no. They're really meant to help children develop comprehension skills and start conversations, because we know conversations are one of the key strategies and key tools to help develop children's vocabulary. So about at the end of January, we announced that there's going to be a second portion of this program. And so we're really proud to announce that we have an extension pack to the Family Shared Reading Program. We would love everyone to start with that starter pack, because again, that's setting the foundation with the guide for parents and caregivers. The extension pack is really extending and adding on to the starter pack. The extension pack is a little bit different in that we have a bilingual family learning calendar. So we didn't need to do a guide all over again, but what we wanted to do was provide a calendar for parents and caregivers that has everyday learning moments. And I'll show you a little bit more of this calendar in a moment, but we go through 3 months. So the starter pack has a 3-month arc of 12 weeks, and then the extension pack is also 12 weeks. So if you have a break in the middle of a typical school year, you've got 6 solid months of programming for your children and families. So we have the calendar that we'll take a look at in just a few minutes. Again, 6 bilingual children's books with the option to add 4 more to get 10. We do the reading journal again, because likely that reading journal has been used up, it has been filled in, and we want another opportunity for children and families to continue to respond to what they're reading. And of course, we have the online access to the read alouds and downloadables. The extension pack, I will tell you, is still in production. So while I can't share the whole calendar with you, I can give you a preview of what it will look like when it's ready to ship in about 2 weeks. In addition to a family extension pack, we have the Educator extension pack. And so the educators will get everything that the families get. What they also get is they get another puppet. So now they'll at least have 2, and puppets are super engaging and very fun for children and families. The puppets, we have a whole training on what puppets can do. We include a 30-minute technical assistance or training consultation with Raising Reader staff. And so once you purchase the Educator toolkit, we will contact you to go ahead and get that technical assistance or training scheduled if you want it. And then of course, our access to the downloadable story guides, online training, and other turnkey resources. And these are all exclusively for our educators that are downloadable when you invest in that, or if you go to a special section on our webpage. So I wanted to give you a preview of this family learning calendar. This is not in final form, but these are some of the ideas that we have. This is a fillable calendar. It's not tied to a particular month, so you can start this at any time of year. The activities are not tied to seasons. They're not tied to holidays. So it's really an evergreen product that you can start in March, you can start it in August, you can start it in May, December, whenever you want. Each day of the week is color-coded because each day we focus on something different. So for example, Sundays we focus on phonics and phonemic awareness, Monday's comprehension, Tuesday vocabulary, Wednesday math, STEAM, health and wellness, and writing. Had to remember all 7. So so we have these segmented, so in that way a family knows, okay, Wednesdays are math days. And we really encourage families in this family learning calendar to try to do 3 a week. We don't want to say, hey, you need to do this every day. That's really setting up people for failure. But hey, every time you do an activity, you get a sticker in this calendar, and you get to put the sticker on the activity that you accomplish. At the end of this family learning calendar are reflection sheets for the caregivers to reflect on what was fun about this experience, what could I use more help in. Maybe you're a caregiver, like science isn't my thing. I struggled with the science activities, and that's what I could use more support with. And then there's also a really fun certificate at the end that families can rip out and post on their refrigerator, where we can fill in the child's name and the parent or caregiver's name to celebrate their accomplishments for completing the activities on this calendar. So I also want to share with you everything that's on the webpage, and this is for both the starter pack and the extension pack, to really make the most of the program and the families who have access. So for educators, for every book in the guides, in the packs, there is what we call a story guide. And a story guide gives a synopsis of the book, but it really correlates with our implementer training for this program that talks about ways to engage families by dressing up, by having a mystery bag, whiteboard activities, because there's obviously a whiteboard in the pack, actions and transitions, and then key vocabulary. And again, this program goes from ages 3 to kindergarten and 3 to pre-K and kindergarten to 2nd grade. However, this storytime guide can be used for children in any of that, at any range in that from 3 to 2nd grade. So that's what we have for the educators, these downloadable storytime story guides. For families, for every book, for most of the books in the pack, there are downloadable activities on the website. So this is an activity on the left that has to do with Thank You, Mr. Panda, where Mr. Panda gives a gift to all of his friends. And so this is a matchup activity where you can cut out or you can draw. And then for the little red hen, we have a baking bread activity. And so we give all the ingredients and all of the steps. So for every book, there's typically 1 to 2 downloadable activities. And for some of our books, there's even what we call virtual field trips. So for example, our book on About Bats, we have a special virtual field trip from National Geographic all about bats. For our book that's called Super Oscar, we have a virtual field trip to the YMCA of the USA, putting on an exercise routine for children that's super fun. So lots of activities that families have in their packs, but they can also access online. The educator can access these activities online and always email them or screenshot them, text them to families. There are a lot of different ways that they can do this. We also have our fun read-alongs. I call these read-alongs because the children have the books that are being read. And so for every book in the pack, you will have an English read-along and a Spanish read-along. These are on the Raising a Reader YouTube page. So this was, sometimes our affiliates help us, sometimes our staff, and we have some amazing volunteers that help with these as well. So one of our great coordinators, Carrie Baccio, is doing habitats around the world, and she takes children through all the habitats. And our amazing Raising Reader staffer, Kristen Anderson, is reading about bats and taking a book out of the mystery bag. So there's modeling for parents and caregivers if and when they want it. There's also modeling of the shared reading strategies. So I'm just going to take you to the Raising a Reader YouTube page. So this is our Raising Reader YouTube page. We give specific links for each video. So for our read alouds, we have Habitats of the World. There'll be a link directly to it. And families can just go right here. They have the same book that's being read here, so it's great for following along. It's really great for understanding if you want to look at it in Spanish or English or both. We also have on the webpage links to specific shared reading strategy videos. So for example, I mentioned that one of the strategies in the family guide for the starter pack was asking engaging questions. So that's going to take the parent or caregiver, if they want to see that in action, if they want to see an example, there's a link on our webpage directly to the asking questions video here. So I'm going to mute that, but it goes through what asking questions looks like between a caregiver and a child. So number 1, we have it in the family guide. Number 2, we have these videos to help parents and caregivers. And hopefully number 3, they have the support of the educator that might be helping them during parent-teacher conferences, during other activities, understand how important these reading strategies are. Okay, great. So the one other thing I'm going to take you to is what it looks like on the Raising a Reader webpage to see all of these activities. So luckily I have it all queued up here. On the webpage, you get to select the book that you have in your pack. And so I've selected the Little Red Hen on the webpage. When the Little Red Hen comes up, I can see right here. I don't have to go on YouTube and search for these videos and search for everything. It's all right here for the Little Red Hen. English and Spanish. I have my read alouds. I have activities. There's 3 activities for this one. And I have the story time guide. So I have it all right here. If I'm a parent or caregiver and I also want to know, gosh, how should I read that book with my child? What actually is a picture walk, or what does it mean to help my child make predictions? On the Family Shared Reading Program webpage, if we scroll, watch your eyes all the way down to the bottom, here are resources for parents and caregivers. So we give an introduction here, and then this is where you can find the direct links to those videos. So this is great for our educators, but it's also great for our parents and caregivers. If they want to see what asking open-ended questions looks like, they can go right here to the bottom of the webpage that we refer to in our family guide and the family learning calendar. So there are a lot of connections in this program. We also haven't forgotten our littlest learners, or infants and toddlers. And we have one Family Shared Reading Program pack available for them. That has a infant and toddler guide. And what this does, it breaks down the ages. So we know reading with a 4-month-old is different than reading from a 24-month-old. So we don't want to lump them all together. So this guide breaks down the ages: 0 to 6 months, 6 to 12, 12 to 24, and 24 to 36. And what we do is we talk about why reading to that age group matters, read aloud tips, and then types of books to consider, because it can be very different in this age range. So it's a guide that just goes through that. It also has a reflection guide for parents and caregivers. This pack also comes with 6 books, but it comes with a puppet instead of a journal, because we know some of the, it's going to be past age 1 before we start doing writing. But the puppet can help with some of those gross motor skills and fine motor skills. If kids are using it, that gets them ready and primed up for writing and responding. So let's just talk about pricing and ordering and how you might go about that. So if you just want family kits and don't want a classroom pack or an educator pack, you can get the family packs by themselves, and they start at $55 per pack. Again, that's for the 6 books, and the star is there just to say if you want 8 books, it's going to be more than 55. So we start at 55 and we go up from there depending on how many more books you want. For educators, both packs, the educator packs are $200 because they include all of that technical assistance and training and downloadables. When you get an educator pack, you can get up to 25 family packs at a discounted rate for $42 each. So oftentimes it's less expensive to do the educator and the classroom packs that include the educator pack and the family packs, rather than just the family packs alone. And our infant and toddler packs are $32. Here's how to order. You can contact anyone at Raising a Reader, especially RAR inquiry at raisingareader.org. But if you're familiar with our ordering site, you can go right to the ordering site and you'll see the first category is the Family Shared Reading Program. And then we break this up by starter packs and extension packs. Our recommendation is to always start with that starter pack because it's setting the foundation and providing that really robust family guide, and then go on to the extension pack. And we've had several affiliates already get their orders in for extension packs because they love the starter pack so much. Great. Didn't realize I was going on for 27 minutes, but I just want to open it up now to see if anyone had any questions or any comments while we're here today. So you can put it in the chat box, or there's enough of us that we can just unmute if you'd like to do that as well. It takes a couple seconds to come into chat. Okay, I don't have any questions yet, but if you have one, still put it in the chat. I'm just going to move on to a couple other things, and then I'll look at the chat box before we conclude today.
Hey, Rebecca?
Yes.
Leah had a question. She said,
yeah,
we have multiple sites. Is the 30-minute training, technical assistance training with staff included does it include implementers at all sites or only me, the coordinator? Does it include all implementers?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the Educator pack comes with that 30 minutes. So it's not per affiliate, but it is for the implementers per site. That's a great question, Leah. And Charlene, can you let me know if any other chats come in? I'm not seeing them for some reason. Okay, that was a great question. So keep them coming, and I'll just talk a little bit about two other things that we have going on. We had a great virtual coordinator training, just talking about some announcements that started in February. We're going to have another opportunity for virtual coordinator training in April, August, and October. So it is a 4-week course, including weekly recorded sessions that you watch on your own and a weekly 75-minute live session on Thursday afternoons that you come to for networking, for discussion, and continued learning. So registration is up. You will be getting your bookmark in a couple of weeks. It also has registration links on it. And then social media. If you are a social media follower, make sure you follow Raising a Reader. Here are all of our social media handles. We have really amped up our presence on social media and provided a lot of really important resources. Most recently, there was an article on radical collaboration and racial equity between our CEO, Michelle Torgerson, and the CEO of Reading Partners, Adiola Whitney. So we encourage you to look at that. You can look at that at your leisure and follow us for all kinds of ideas. I've seen some of our affiliates also share what we've already posted. Please feel free to do that on any of your social media pages.
Hi, Rebecca. Mary Catherine asked, is there a one-page doc or anything to send to families? And I let her know that we have our FSRP flyer coming out next week.
We do, yeah, absolutely. We're working on the last minute tweaks to that, and so we'll have that ready to go. Great. So just keep the floor open if there are any other questions. If not, I really appreciate everyone joining us this afternoon to learn a little bit more about our Family Shared Reading program. And of course, stay tuned. As we go into April, we'll be announcing a special kit just for summer. So we look forward to providing you with all of these materials and working with you in your program. Thank you all. Have a good Friday, and I'll stay on in case there are any questions.